let's paint my characters, but this time on tiny cute little canvas magnets. Hello guys, and welcome to another video. I've personally never liked acrylic paint, so I use my Himi gouache. I also recently just cleaned this palette, so it looks very nice. How this video came to be is I was walking around Poundland, minding my own business, picking up everything that I didn't need, when I came across these little canvases in the arts and crafts section, and when I flipped them over, I found out they were magnets. I started off with the classic character, Loki. If you've been on my channel for a while, you'll know who Loki is. I introduced her back in 2015, and to be honest, I've actually been thinking about doing Meet the OCs 2.0, as in like a revamp of that series, which I'm now realising is 7 years old. A lot has changed. But here you can see the process of me painting on these little canvas magnets. Now, I don't usually paint on canvas all that often, so it was kind of difficult, not gonna lie. I don't think I prepped these canvases either, which was probably a mistake on my part before I started sketching. I did try and go for a lineless style, but it started to look a bit like a hot mess, exactly like me, because of the UK's temperature right now. It's 24 degrees, and apparently it's going to be over 30 next week. I could barely even handle 28 degrees. I'm going to melt into a puddle on the floor. Don't know whether you can tell, but I just kept adding layers upon layers upon layers of paint, just trying to make it all work. There came a point where it started to radiate Sleeping Beauty cake energy. The literal cake face painting. Just watching back through the footage, and oh yes, this is where I decided to try out multiple different paint pens, including my Posca, which was like a little bit too thick. But then I remembered I had the Artistro paint pens that I used in a previous video, and they were perfect for this. Also, something that was not caught on camera was when I tried to seal this magnet of Loki, the instant regret when I smeared the entire face. And this is why we should always use the right materials for the job, because I used gouache instead of acrylic paint, and in that moment I regretted all my life choices. But the silver lining is that when I redid it, it just looked overall better, even if it was a little bit more simpler. And now I start drawing my character Anthony. Fun fact, Anthony is actually Loki's cousin. Yes, I have a family tree of my characters because I can. For anybody new watching and has no idea who my characters are, basically I have a whole character universe with every character having their own storyline, and it slowly drives me crazy every single day of my life. It is pure chaos. And if you're into Sims content, I play out their stories on my Sims channel, which I'll leave linked down below in the description and in the iCard if I remember. So when I first got these canvases, I had no idea which characters I wanted to draw, so I actually asked some of the people on my Discord which characters I should draw, and Undead Rose said Loki. And then later on, I had the idea to draw the 4 characters that appear in my comic Interconnected. Now, Interconnected is on an indefinite hiatus at the moment. I don't know if I'll ever get back to it, to be fair, because I've got so many other responsibilities and commitments. But I just really liked the combination of the 4 characters, Loki, Anthony, Nicholas, and Lucille. I will say with the canvas magnet of Loki, I was trying to figure out what I wanted in terms of style, but when it came down to Anthony, I kind of had it all figured out by then. So it was definitely a more easier process from Anthony's canvas onwards. Just watching the rest of the footage and how much smoother and quicker the rest of the process for each of these canvases was after Loki is quite nice. The first piece in a series of pieces is always the troubleshooting, the one that you have to work out all the kinks with, what does and doesn't work. Now we get on to Nicholas. Now, Nicholas and Loki don't necessarily get on too well. They do actually become step siblings in the timeline, But really speaking, Nicholas and Loki have always had this sibling rivalry sort of relationship, even without being step-siblings in the beginning. Nicholas's dad, Thomas, is actually Loki's dad, Jonathan's best friend. And after Thomas's death, Jonathan took over the fatherly role for Nicholas, in a way becoming the son that Jonathan never had. In relation to the three cousins, Nicholas is a bit of an outlier. Anthony in particular doesn't really like him all that much, especially while they're growing up. But they do grow more friendly as time goes on. Anthony is definitely jealous of Nicholas, and I think it's also from them being quite similar as well. They both grew up without a father figure and have Jonathan as said father figure. I originally was going to make these canvases look a little bit more complicated, actually have more of a patterned background, but in the end I just decided for something simple and it works so well. It's actually really effective. It'd be really interesting to actually make like a puzzle out of magnetic canvases. But for those of you who know my character universe, I also made the background colours kind of related to their stories. So Nicholas marries a Varonan princess, and Varona's colour is actually purple. Loki is the crown princess and future queen of Loka, whose colour is blue. It's also a very complementary colour to her hair colour, which is orange, or ginger. And with Anthony always wears blue, and even though he is in the Loka royal line of succession, I thought it'd be interesting to have a complementary colour to that. So to kind of go along with Loki, I added the colour of orange, or a more ginger type of orange, the same as Loki's hair, to his background instead. In Lucille's story, she marries the king of Hallie, and Hallie's colour is teal, or a turquoise colour. And since she comes from Loka anyway, and Loki's colour is blue, it kind of made sense for her colour to at least be a more blue teal. After painting these, I actually went back to Poundland and I picked up 4 more of these canvas magnets. So if you like this video and would like to see more of these, then comment down below which characters you would like to see on these other 4 canvases. I have this funny feeling that I've started something and that I'll want to fill my entire magnetic board with these. Because you know, with my characters, you gotta collect them all! With the 4 characters in this video, Lucille is more of the peace bringer. She is definitely the glue that holds everything together. And when Lucille goes off to Hallie and actually marries the King of Hallie, they kind of have to rebuild their relationship in a different way to make it more stable, without Lucille there all the time. In her story, Lucille feels very overlooked all the time, and starts to believe she's less than what she's worth. People look down on her because she's a lower born princess, even though she's from the esteemed Loka family. The circumstances around her birth weren't very ideal, and her parents divorced. Not to mention, her dad is just also a big butt. Overall though, I actually really enjoyed this project, and it's definitely something that I'd love to revisit and do more with. I mean, I even talked about the interesting idea of a canvas magnet puzzle. Now just showing off the final pieces. I thought it was really satisfying just putting it all together, so I hope you enjoy it. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you can like, share and subscribe with post notifications on for any more content that I decide to create in the future. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!